Hello and welcome to the Temple Mount Podcast. I'm Shogun. This is going to be our second meeting of the D&D campaign Realms of Terrinoth with the Dungeon Master, Beautiful Dude Missile. So you can find that. Hi, Dude Missile. You can find that on YouTube and BitChute, Temple Mount Podcast official. But that being said, welcome everybody. Thank you, Dude Missile. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you? How are you guys?
Very well, thank you. Looking forward to this.
So, like always, we're gonna get into so I'm gonna open up. So go to the login page for the room. And I'm gonna make a new channel this time. We'll call it actually wait, what was the old channel name? Temple Mount ROTMROT? Yeah, okay, channel name T as in Terry, M as in Mount, T as in Temple, M as in Mount, R as in Realm, O as in of, T as in...
What are you trying to
Fair enough.
explain right now? Are you trying to
Okay.
tell us where to find a channel? Because if so, the easiest
Yeah.
thing is to just create a hashtag link in general chat.
No. I'm talking about the Dice channel, the Dice website we use.
Oh, I see. You
So
sent it to
go,
me.
yeah, go on there and
Right.
TMROT.
Okay. And username
Is this
whatever.
a different Dice channel?
Yeah, this is a different Dice channel, but it's the same website.
Okay, shit. I forgot my character's name. Is it Kenshin?
Hanzo.
Hanzo, yeah. Thank you. Of course it's Hanzo.
I just sent it the information to you, egg based.
Yeah, where's my character sheet? It must be in our DM convo. Yeah.
Now, did you guys spend your experience points from last time?
Or maybe I saved it.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I did either. Hanzo's PDF is right here. It says available XP 5 on my sheet.
Yeah. Okay, let me know when you guys are ready.
I'm good to go. I have that 5 XP, but I haven't spent it yet.
Okay. Sorry, skills or what? And can we buy anything with 5 XP?
Yeah, you can buy a tier 1 talent, or you could buy the first level of a career skill, but that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all you can do with 5.
The first level of a career skill, you say?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna give myself a rank in Brawl then.
So you're getting Brawl up.
Available XP to 0 now, and
you're getting Brawl up to level 1, right?
Level 1 it appears. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. That works.
Okay, great. Saved.
Okay, so if you guys are ready, we can start.
I am ready.
Okay, so for 1 blue dice on any roll of your choosing, would one of you like to sort of recap everything that happened last game?
I'm also going to put my 5 XP into rank 1 divine.
Okay.
And I also
just for the record,
like to highly recommend that Egg Based will give a better account of the events of last game than me.
Okay. Would you like to do that, Egg Based? I can do it if you don't remember, but
no, I'll take that graciously. Yes, but you, Shogun, if you think that's better, then I'll do it.
It sounds to me like your memory is unsurprisingly a little clearer than mine. So,
all right. So I was coming from the Adventurers Guild. Hanzo had previously entered the tavern and had managed to acquire or requisition some silver there. So I walked to the tavern and I encountered Hanzo. While I was, I sort of looked at him, past him. I met the wizard Alamir.
Yes.
Who had posted the posting for the lost arcane text sort of seer stone thing.
Uh-huh.
He directed me to the cave, which was 20 miles to the west. I stood outside the tavern and waited for Hanzo to exit as well. I ran a lore check and recognized the Rokugawan weapons and armor. He and I sort of caught up. I asked why he's here. He said he's following fate. And he said that the wizards in Rokugawa, or the spiritual practitioners, are called Shujinja, where he's from. And I sort of said that that was an accurate description. And so I realized upon conversation that both Hanzo and the Adventurers Guild were both seeking Dryneck for 500 silver, which is a bandit leader locally who there's a bounty out on. I met the dwarf Gragnar that Hanzo had hired previously. So he and I went to this cave, engaged with two sort of direwolf type monsters that we later learned were called Bargus.
Yeah.
And so Hanzo was attacking with a sword. I was attacking with sort of a basic flame attack cast. And after killing a Bargus and solving a dungeon puzzle, we were able to acquire some items, including some bouncy boots for Gragnar. And then we went back to the main area and went further into the cave, found the seer stone, and I tested that it was, in fact, the seer stone, even though I wasn't able to understand its function personally. We returned, and I convinced Alamir, upon the slightly underrepresented peril of that quest, to double his reward to be able to pay Hanzo and I both 100 silver. And that made my total 125. And if I recall correctly, Hanzo spent some of his, so I think his total may be lower. But that was where we left it, was in the tavern. Just having completed the quest, you awarded us some XP, which we've now spent.
Right.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, so now just
One
keep it.
small question. Did I not at one point hire some kind of dwarven bodyguard or
Is
assistant?
Frognar.
And what happened? What ended up happening with him? We still have him, or did he?
Yeah, he's still with you. What was I believe, if you remember Eggbase, that'd be great. But I believe basically what you said, what you hired him to do, was just sort of
Yep.
help, like sort of assist you while you're in the land. So until you guys actually leave for Alveria, we'll say he's willing to work for you.
I think
Now,
the concept was just that he might help us like carry stuff and so forth.
Yeah.
Pardon me. So you retained him as a bodyguard. He actually proved like pretty helpful in the whole cave quest. And I mean, not to be imposing, but I presume that since you were able to buy his loyalty for so low a price, that he may be willing to further assist us for, the same or additional silver.
Yeah. It seems likely. Good. Well, we can use all the help we can get, I suppose.
Okay, so we will assume that after that quest, because it was like evening when you guys got back, I believe. But we'll assume that after you guys got back, you sort of found your sort of sleeping arrangements on your own, and it is now the next morning. So yeah, go ahead. What do you guys want to do?
Sorry, we're in the inn. Is that the case, or where we
Well,
slept? Or...
Eggbase is a registered member of the guild, so maybe he slept at the guild if he wanted. But yeah, you're at the inn, Shogun, presumably.
Well, yeah, we'll say my character just sort of emerges from some kind of nearby tree line or forest or something. But yeah, and perhaps goes to the Adventurers Guild, where say Eggbase character's name again.
Hasafet.
Hasafet, good name. Where Hasafet is staying, in order to rendezvous with him.
All right, and Hanzo was correct in his presumption. I did sleep at the Adventurers Guild, and woke up in the morning and was able to acquire some breakfast. Upon regaling the Adventurers Guild with the tale of my exploits in questing for this wizard, and having returned the completed contract to the AGH so that they could chalk it up as finished. They did give me some beer the night before, so I slept very well despite being a fucking sorcerer. and woke up in the morning and ate heartily, and was debating going to the tavern to see Konzo for some sort of, I guess, meeting again to see what was next on our list. But as I did so, I observed him having been drawn in to the Adventurers Guild building by the guards at the door, presumably because he had been able to identify me by name.
Very well. Great. So I've entered the Adventurers Guild now. Is this like a castle or some kind of a
So
keep?
it's
Or
if you can, if have you ever played Skyrim?
sure have, yeah.
Do you remember the companions? It's sort of like that. It's like a big. It's sort of like the size of a tavern or a bar, but like
Right.
there's like some so there's like a clerk's desk at the front. There's like a mess hall where people get food. There's like a there's
It's a
Understood.
longhouse. It's got some
Yeah.
dormitories. It's got like separate rooms for the leader and some upper staff, and
Yeah.
it's very similar to the companions building, as far as I understand.
Yes. That's
Good.
yeah.
Okay. And so I turn to Hasafet and I inquire if we are still on the trail of this Drynick mercenary today. Is that the agenda? Or
So I rushedly tell Hanzo to lower his voice,
I was gonna do
and
that.
I rushedly tell Hanzo to lower his voice and usher him outside without
Okay.
actually touching him, and express very clearly, once away from the guards, that the opposing party, which is attempting to claim this Dryneck bounty, as are we, was actually present at that breakfast feast, and I really did not want to alert them of our intent to compete with them for that bounty.
I see. So they're currently still in the building that we just left.
Absolutely. They haven't set out yet. I think we were up and prepared a little bit earlier than they, and they're kind of taking their time because they assume that, they're the big game in town and that they will be able to conquer it themselves. And I take as my prerogative to point out that they are not nearly as powerful as they believe themselves to be, and that you and I will certainly have an easier time taking down this Dryneck clown than they perhaps believe themselves to.
Okay, I nod silently, and I look around to see if I can see any stables that are perhaps either attached to the Adventurers Guild or nearby, a place where horses may be tethered.
Yeah. There's like a horse stable.
Attached to the Adventurers Guild, like for
Yeah, but
adventure.
it's like it's like outside. We can assume you maybe saw it when you were going in.
Mhm. And looking inside, is there any way that I can possibly identify which horses belong to the party of adventurers, or I just can't tell? These are just a bunch of horses.
They're I'm gonna say there's probably someone who's like the manager of the stable, and they recognize all the horses by sight, right? And they know whose horses is who. But you're not gonna be able to say, "Oh, that's
Right. Yeah.
that's yeah,
So but there are horses in the stable.
yes,
And how
yes."
All
many?
right.
So,
Pardon me. Can I go up to the stable keeper and roll coercion to attempt to get him to not only identify the horses belonging to the party, but also be willing, not like, excited or eager or overly willing, but just able to be coerced into giving us a deal on those horses?
Yes, but you have to tell me like how
so
you're going about it. Like, what are you
this,
saying?
All
this
right,
is,
okay.
this is a little
So
bit of
upon recognizing that there are enough horses here and due to the locality and the exclusivity of this location, that the adventurers we're attempting to compete with are almost certainly drawing their horses from the same place, I'm going to walk in, and similar to my intimidation tactic in the Adventurers Guild originally, I'm going to step up to the man's desk and just very silently put my hand on his desk and burn an impression there in a little puff of smoke and look him straight into the eyes and say, "We are seeking Dryneck. I understand that there are a number of individuals also seeking this person, and I would wish for you to identify their horses to me and to be willing to negotiate for their sale.
Now, would you like to use your bonus blue on this check, or do you want to save it?
I think that would be worth doing. Yeah.
Okay. Roll coercion against a 2. In case you're wondering, 2 is like the average difficulty. Like if it's like an easy roll, it'd be a 1, right? But whereas a harder roll would be a 3, and like 4 and 5 would be like the hardest thing you could do with before getting into like the challenge range. But yeah, roll against 2 purple.
All right. Your boy has rolled a success and an advantage.
Okay, so he says he sort of looks at the table. He's like, you're gonna clean that up, right? And then he sort of shakes his head. He says, look, these horses aren't privately owned. They're sort of reserved at request. And you know, some of the guild members have reserved a few of these horses, but they're not their horses per se.
So is he going to tell me which ones, though? Because that's the reason I did the coercion rule.
Yeah, he sort of says they're over there. They're all sort of there's like this sort of little part of the stable that's like that's for fitting saddles and whatnot, like getting the horse ready for work. And he points them all out and he says those 4 right there are
We
being
may have
taken
mentioned this
care of.
before, but like, what's the rule on metagaming? Like, can we like talk out of character or no?
I would say you can talk out of character as much as you want. You just can't act on information your character shouldn't have. So if we
Right.
so like for example, like here would be like the golden example is like say you guys are in a dungeon, you split into different parties, right? And maybe one party, one of the 2 halves, they find out that like the lich that's at the bottom of the dungeon, if you kill him you get cursed, right? You wouldn't be able to act on that information, right? But if you guys are in the same location, we don't have to worry about like I tell Shogun everything
well,
I know.
I'm
Right?
going to keep it to the absolute minimum and try and stay in character, but just for illustrative purposes, maybe this one time. My concern is that if we have gone through this path, then now it will be very easy for them to know that we have taken their horses, which would seem to, because this guy's going to tell them, they're going to come and be like, where are our horses? And he's going to be like, well, this like sorcerer and the samurai took them, which would seem to blow our previous desire to remain unknown. So I'm wondering if that might be a problem. Potentially could bribe the guy to be silent or to make up a fake story that some kind of bandit or drunkard ran off with them or something like that. And
So,
bribe.
I mean, so what I was planning to do actually was not bribe him into silence, but intimidate him into silence. I mean, frankly, I think like, okay, so with that in mind, that we should definitely acquire his silence somehow. Do you want to see how this plays out?
Well, my initial thought was that since you're a member of the Adventurers Guild and I am not, you would potentially be burning your bridges by stealing horses from other adventurers, openly in front of the stable manager. So what I was going to suggest is that you, and again, this will be the last of the whatever, we're on this track now, but, I was going to tell you to go wait around the corner or something, and I was just going to steal 2 horses because I'm not associated with the Adventurers Guild as far as I know. And then, but in this case, yeah, I mean, it would seem to me that the adventurers are going to come out. They're not going to have their horses. They say, "Where's our horses?" And he's going to presumably tell them it was us, just as long as we're
all right. So, I'm going to presume that you and I have an understanding, and that you're going to sort of turn towards the door and give me a nod, and that I'm going to understand from that I should create a diversion so that you can go outside and acquisition 2 horses not belonging to the Adventurers Guild.
Well, are we assuming this has all happened before or after you did the coercion check and everything?
Yeah, so I did the coercion check. He identified the 2 horses or the multiple horses that belong to them. And so you now know, under the assumption that we don't want to take them, you now know which ones to steal.
Right.
So you and I are going to exchange a nod.
Mm-hmm.
And upon having done that, I'm going to turn to the old man and I'm going to apologize for having defaced his furniture and wave my hand over the desk and make the burn mark go away. And then I'm going to say that I'm immediately new to the area and have recently joined the Adventurers Guild and would love some local advice on where he procures his beverages or food.
And he says to you like, well, really, like the best stuff is here at the guild, and the tavern, like, you know, if the guild's running low on booze, you can maybe head over to the tavern for a couple extra drinks, but really they don't have anything better, you know.
So I'm gonna, while this conversation is taking place, although I expect it would be impossible to silently abscond with two horses, I'm nevertheless going to take the reins of two of the horses that he indicated, and
Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
I'm just stepping in here to say, wasn't the idea that you were going to take two of the other horses?
I'm a
Like
little confused. My thought initially was that we could potentially assess visually which horses, I don't know how this worked, belong to the adventurers, because by taking their horses, that would make our advantage greater, right? By depriving them, as not only do we get horses, but they lose their horses, right?
So if I understand the result of my coercion roll, the stable keeper pointed out the horses belonging to the Adventurers Guild, and I understood it as your intent to avoid arousing suspicion with them and thus take two of the horses which were not reserved
Right.
for
Well, that
our
may also make
competitor.
sense. Very well. Okay. Same concept. I'm simply going to casually and attempting to move in a calm and just casual way. I'm simply going to take the reins of two horses that are as close to the exit or door as possible, and I'm just going to casually lead those horses out. And if I can roll a stealth roll or something, I will. But I'm prepared for the possibility that he will probably see this. At which point But regardless, I don't know if a stealth roll is even appropriate here or not. Because
I would say make a stealth roll against a 2, but give yourself 2 blues. 1 blue because he's sort of distracted in this conversation about like where the best place to get booze is. But also 2 because it's like a stable with like 20 horses in it. So there's like a lot of cover, really.
okay, all right, that makes more sense. That might be possible. So I'm going to roll. How does this work here again? On my character sheet, do I have stealth? I have 3 greens in stealth, so I roll 3 green dice,
Against 2 purples, give yourself 2 blues.
2 blue squares. Okay, roll. That's 3 successes, isn't it?
Okay. So here's how I'm gonna rule this.
For the record, that's 3 advantages.
Advantages. Yeah,
So
I'm
you
gonna
did
take
fail
them all.
at what you were trying to do, and so here's
Okay.
how I'm gonna rule this. The the as Hasselfed is sort of talking to this guy about liquors and where to get a good drink and where to get a good meal and what's the best cheese they have on the menu, I assume is sort of the conversation you're making with this guy. He sort of like his eyes sort of wander as he's sort of thinking of like what recommendations to make, and he notices, because he's in here all day, he's like, he knows these horses. He notices that there's less heads than there should be, he gets up. He says, give me a moment, and he walks over, and he starts counting the horses' heads by 1.
Okay,
But as
where
this
do
is
the 3
happening,
advantages factor into that,
The three advantages is that Shogun's stealth roll failed, so that the guy knows 2 horses are gone. The 3 advantages is that he didn't see Hanzo do it. He hasn't seen the horses, but he
right?
knows
Okay.
he knows they're missing.
So regardless, as he is beginning this count, I presume I've maybe already exited the stable, and then I will pick up my pace as much as I can, but not break into a run, just a fast walk, and try and kind of turn around a corner.
I would like to point out now that these horses do not have saddles, so you're gonna be raw dogging it.
Imagine that we can manage that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to roll Arcana
Mm-hmm.
to attempt to cast a mind spell on this individual and coerce him into giving us 2 saddles and then forgetting that we were ever here.
Okay,
it's gonna-
roll
Sure.
Arcana against 3 purple.
That's triple success, 1 advantage.
Okay, give me an idea if you have an idea for the advantage. But yeah, he's sort of his eyes glaze over a little bit, and he says like, yeah, sure, give me a moment. Do you know how to fit them yourself, or do you need help with that?
So if I have riding as a career, but I don't have a point in it, then does that allow me to understand how to fit saddles?
Um, I guess we could assume that yeah, you know how to fit a saddle.
My character does have riding as a class skill. If you just want to bring the saddles, I can put them on the horses. But
Okay, well, we'll continue, dude missile. We'll figure that out once I
Yeah.
exit the building. But
Yeah.
Okay, so he gives you the saddles. They're pretty heavy, but we can assume that you can carry 2 of them a short distance. And he we'll say the one advantage if you're okay with this. We'll say the one advantage is that he sits back down at his desk, his eyes sort of regain their light, and he doesn't think anything of what just happened.
yeah, I was going to say that the spell was to make him forget, but like the one advantage is like he kind of winks at me and guarantees the silence, so we then don't have to worry about the other people knowing.
Right, sure, we can go with that.
All right, so upon having succeeded in this, I'm then going to triumphantly walk out of the stable keeper's door with 2 saddles and walk over to Hanzo and hand him one of them.
I will take it, and I will, as quickly and efficiently as possible, strap on both saddles to the 2 horses that we have. What are the colors of these horses, just for my mental picture here?
Let's go with there's a brown one and there's sort of a beige one.
All right. So, do I need to roll anything? I assume we can just say
You
that
can
I know
just
how to
yeah
put a saddle on. Okay, so
yeah.
we saddle these 2 horses and
Wait,
mount
hang
the
on.
horse. I'll mount mine.
The time where you would have had to roll them, just so we're clear here, like if you guys had to saddle your horse really quickly, or like you
Right.
had to, but like you've got time here, so yeah, you just saddle them up.
Okay. All right. So I will, I suppose, mount the beige horse and just sort of look at Hasafed and gesture for him to do so with the brown one.
I mean, I'll take the beige horse if you prefer. It's up to you.
I've already mounted the beige horse, so that's fine.
All right, so I'm going to um, adequately but not deftly mount said brown horse.
Okay.
And are we taking Grognar or Gragnar?
We haven't actually. I don't know if we've met up with him yet this morning, or even necessarily where he is at this point.
We can assume that he's been like
Just
hanging out.
nearby, following us
Yeah.
around. All right.
No, but not that he's been following you around. Just that like if you wanted to look for him, he wouldn't be. It's a small village. You'd be able to find him. It's probably a
Right.
All
villain
right.
or something.
So I'm going to turn to Hanzo and offer to put up half the cost if he'd like to employ Ragnar for the rest or for the next leg of our journey.
I'm certainly happy to do so. I'm just wondering if we're going to be able to bring him on our horse, or if one of our horses, or if he's going to slow us down unless we get him a horse too.
Is he small enough for us to like comically pack him in a saddlebag or like tie him to like the back of the saddle or whatever?
I would say if you want him on your good side, you probably should just let him hop on the back of one of your horses, to be honest.
All right, I'm going to leave that up to Hanzo then because he's got the riding knowledge.
Right. I don't know if a dwarf can even ride a horse, to be honest. 'Cause
Legs
their
too short?
short legs might be too short. So again, because we're trying to get ahead of the people that we're with, it seems to, that are coming after Dryneck, that speed is going to be important.
All right, so we're going to ditch the dwarf.
I would suggest that maybe we give him a pass on this particular mission. We can employ him later, but right now speed is of the essence. And unless he can ride a horse and we get him another horse, I don't see how he's not going to slow us down. Because realistically, I don't think you could put him on the back of a saddle without him falling off.
All right. So just to cause a diversion, as we slowly ride away from the stable keeper's house, I'm going to throw an apple that I brought from the AGH breakfast in front of the stable and attempt to cause some horses to run out and eat it so that he has to go out and corral them back in.
So that who has to corral? Say that.
The stable keeper.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sure. Yeah. So, what do you guys do now?
I would suggest that we set out as quickly as possible and ride as quickly as possible in what we know to be the best estimate of the location of our target, which I'm not sure how specifically we know where he is.
We did receive the location of Dry Neck last session in like an approximate direction, but I don't remember if they gave us a distance.
Okay. Well, I always indicate that time is of the essence, and sort of spur my horse to a gallop of sorts or a half gallop in the direction, whichever that be, north, south, east, or west, that we believe the target to be in, and perhaps
I believe it was southeast. And as Hanzo spurs his horse, I'm going to understand his message that time is of the essence and spur mine as well to half gallop, with the understanding that we may well burst into a full gallop upon leaving the city bound.
I will say, forgive me if to the listeners, forgive me if the sort of directions here are inconsistent with previous episodes, but it's not really important, and I don't really have a map on me, so we can just say, yeah, it's southwest.
I've got a notepad and pen, so I'll start taking notes this time
Yeah.
as the game goes on. But yeah, it doesn't matter if they're running southwest. I'm just going to say that perhaps Hasafet notices that Hanzo seems to often remain silent and communicate through body language, but perhaps because he's a sorcerer or for some other reason, he tends to interpret his meaning from that. But you do notice that he's a unusually non-vocal person, or maybe you don't. I would assume you would.
I'm going to roll perception to gain an understanding of Hanzo's body language.
Okay, roll against 2.
Like all I'm pointing at is that you notice that he usually will nod or raise a hand or point or something in preference of responding vocally, but I myself may speak in this way, and we could kind of explain that in game terms, that you have some kind of a intuition or something.
Yes.
I rolled a success and 3 advantages on attempting to understand Hanzo's body language.
Shogun, do you want to answer this one? Do you want to go ahead and tell him what?
Well, I guess perhaps you will say your perception check. You notice that this Hanzo character seems to speak rarely, and when he does his speech, perhaps it's just his accent, but is sort of slow and a little bit strange, and you get an impression that he is avoiding speech, although you're not sure why. But it does strike you as odd, if that would.
Can we tack on? So that sounds like a success, but can we tack on to the 3 advantages the idea that I'm like now more able to understand your specific?
Well, yeah, I would say because you're a sorcerer and whatever, it would make sense to me that you would have an intuitive grasp. And I'm not saying he's going to be non-vocal; that would be annoying. But yeah. So.
Yeah, boom. And I'm not super vocal either, as you may have acknowledged. So yeah, I sort of have a respect for it, and just trying to understand it.
Right. So does that resolve that role, or should I elaborate or something?
No, that's good. And I think we're just kind of riding in the direction of the cave, so I'm going to.
I guess what I'll add to the perception thing is that there's something kind of strange or off about this Hanzo character, although you can't quite put your finger on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've sort of picked that up, and I'm not digging into it too quickly here because you've been opening up slowly. So.
Right. Okay. So we are now riding. What kind of countryside are we passing through here? Are we still in the town?
You guys are sort of off in the distance. You ride for about an hour or two. You get there. You sort of get there faster than it would have taken you on foot, and off in the distance as you guys sort of reach the top of this hill, but not too steep, like a horse could ride down it without too much difficulty. You see off in the distance sort of a walled encampment made out of logs that have been spiked at the top. And there appears to be a lot of tents and some sort of ramshackle, like buildings made out of like scrap and stuff.
Is there sort of like a palisade wall with some kind of encampment inside
Yeah.
of crude buildings?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I suppose perhaps we should try to. Is there like trees around here or forest area that we could perhaps like kind of conceal ourselves and our horses so we're not spotted by any sentries or anything while we plan what we're going to do?
Say that
Like,
again.
is there cover around here where we can conceal ourselves so that we can't be seen by anyone who might be watching
There,
from the
th-
village?
there is like a sort of a forest that is of a lower altitude.
Okay. So I'm going to suggest that we move into as much cover as we can so we're not spotted by anyone who might be keeping guard. And then we must make a plan because presumably there's going to be a lot of people in this encampment, and this bounty hunter or target probably has a variety of bodyguards or soldiers at his command or something like that. So some form of strategy will probably be needed here.
Shogun, you feel something like probing into you, like magically.
I see. Like into my mind or like into my
Into sort of your, if I would say almost like if you had an aura, like something's probing into your presence magically.
Okay. Is there any role I can take to get some insight to what kind of being is doing this, or who or what is doing this,
One sec.
or just to get any more, information about it? I don't necessarily have any. I have vigilance as a career skill.
Yeah, okay. So let me look at the sheet and see if there's anything here that would make sense. Well, you're not a magical character, that's the thing, right? And
Mhm.
so this is
Yeah,
sort of
that's
out of
fine if
your
I just have
yeah.
an impression and there's nothing I can know about it. But okay, I take note
Yeah.
of that. I look around, I suppose, just to see if there's anything unusual or anyone unusual nearby.
One sec.
All right. So upon watching Hanzo kind of like looking around himself and checking over his shoulder, I noticed that state of like unease or anxiety is not natural for him. And so I ask him like what is wrong or if he feels a presence or a threat.
Yes, I reply that I sensed an uncanny spirit, um, for lack of a better word. I sense an uncanny, unfamiliar presence.
All right. So I don't know what to roll for this. You can sort of help me out here, Dude Missile. I'd like to roll some kind of check to see if I can detect any foreign presence that's analyzing Hanzo, or like
Uh,
attacking him psychically.
yeah, we can just make like an arcana check uh against. I mean, I think detecting magic is relatively easy. We can call it a check against a 1.
So check Arcana against 1.
Yeah. Uh
3 success.
no, you don't detect anything magical outside of your own sort of presence.
I kind of shake my head and say, well, perhaps it was nothing. Nevertheless, we should be on our guard. It's possible someone or something is aware of our presence here.
Yeah, so I'm just going to verbally reassure Hanzo that since I haven't detected any foreign presences, it may simply have been like an intuition about the situation to come.
I nod reflectively. And then I turn my attention and study the palisade in the distance. I consider out loud that one possibility would be to wait for nightfall when potentially we'd have a better chance of infiltrating without being seen. and possibly our target might be asleep. And I ask what Hasafet thinks of that.
So respecting the way that the cover of Nightfall tends to assist operations against other humans, I'm going to agree, and I'm also going to stifle myself into a state of non-production of luminescence just so that I don't fucking glow and give away our position.
Okay. So can we say that we just sort of conceal ourselves and perhaps meditate or sharpen our swords or whatever until it is dark?
Well, if you want to specify what it is you're doing, I can give you like a blue dice for something specific. Like if you want to say you're sharpening your sword, I'll give you a
Well,
blue dice for melee light for a couple attacks.
I
Like
mean,
if
I
you want
just was giving that as an example of something my character might kind of casually do to pass the time.
So I, for one, will roll discipline to focus my future magical intent for the task ahead and to concentrate my mind on being prepared to cast magic to harm or kill the bandits that we may encounter in combat in the near future.
okay, yeah. Roll a discipline against a 2. Also, I'm gonna use. I'm just a warning. I'm gonna use one soon, just to sort of start the whole process of getting used to the story point system. I'm not gonna use it for this roll, but remember that you guys have right now 2 story points.
So I rolled a success and an advantage on discipline.
So refresh me what you're trying to sort of hone your sort of insight for
I'm
future.
just trying to like mentally prime myself and concentrate my will for the probably magically intense acts that are going to follow, up to and including like killing and maiming human beings.
Okay, we'll give you a blue against all future against for let's say three magic rolls. You'll get a blue.
Okay. Yeah, I'll actually note that down. Give me 1 second. Also, Hanzo, what was it you just said?
Well, I was previously mentioning that perhaps I would just like sharpen my swords and meditate until nightfall. I believe that was the last thing I said. Now I'm realizing from what you just did that I could potentially also, meditate to put myself into some kind of an enhanced combat state. But I don't know if that's just.
Well, we could give you maybe a blue on like a cool check if you wanted, so you could get better initiative.
Okay, I figured out what it was I was trying to say. Hanzo, if you want to do that, you do that first.
Well, if you're gonna meditate, I might as well meditate too. And I have discipline as a class skill with 2 greens and 1 yellow. So I would just like, to prepare myself for the mission in a similar way. Just
So,
Okay.
Dude Missile, that was 1 blue die on the next 3 casts.
Yeah, next 3 magic checks.
Okay.
So I'm gonna roll 2 green, 1 yellow. Sorry.
You're gonna against 2 purple. Yeah.
Against 2 purple.
So what I was going to say is because you brought up the story points thing, I think it would be good for Hanzo and I to just communicate about our heroic abilities quickly.
Okay. So one moment. Let me interpret this. Shogun just got a really good roll.
This is by far the most bizarre and confusing dice system I've ever seen.
Okay, Shogun.
I'm digging it, but I have no idea what any of it means.
So
Shogun, that's a success, 2 advantages, and a boon. So a boon in and of itself is a critical success.
Okay.
So a success is like, you did what you were trying to do. A boon is like not only did you do it, but you did it extremely well. And then 2 advantages is like either 1 more lucky, like 1 moderately lucky event, right?
Can I like role play a quick thing for this, and then you can game mechanic it after?
If you want, yeah. Go ahead.
Let's just assume that my samurai tradition has a traditional meditative spiritual practice they do on the eve of combat, and in order to sort of enter a combat trance and commune with their warrior ancestors. And I feel that I have done this, and then you can tell me what that translates into.
Your role was very good. So I'm gonna say, just next combat initiative, you're just at the top. You're just at the top for the next combat initiative.
I'll automatically act first in the next combat.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll maybe for your first attack, I'll give you a blue. Just
Sounds
because
good.
initiative is really already a really, really good thing.
Yeah, no, that sounds good to me. Great. And so can we then also say that that night has fallen?
Yes, it is now nighttime.
All right,
Okay.
do the heroic ability chat first.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Heroic ability chat.
Yeah, just sort of roll.
Just because he brought up story points and he's trying to illustrate
Mm-hmm.
the point, we have 2, which is enough for 1 heroic ability. So I just think you and I should understand each other's as well as our own.
Okay.
So
The only thing
you
I
go
know
first
is
on
I
me.
have
Up to you.
all I know is that I have a talent called Hard to Kill, but I'm not sure that's what you're talking about.
So that's not a talent. That is your heroic ability.
Okay. I
And
put it in the talent pyramid.
the book didn't give a duration. And because you upgrade it as you level up, you can like as you gain enough experience points, you can put different. You gain ability points and you can upgrade your heroic ability. I'm gonna say we're gonna start your heroic ability, Shogun, with a duration of 3 turns. There's three full combat turns, and by a turn is when everyone on the order has taken their turn. That's 1 turn, right? So
Right.
for 3 turns, when you activate your heroic ability, you get +4 soak.
Right. So essentially, I can enter a damage resistant state where I can tank a lot of damage for 3 turns.
Yes.
Yeah. That's mine.
And just for the record, mine is actually like stupid OP. So it's called Astral Blast. And we actually work to balance it, but it's a blast of psychic energy that wipes out minion type enemies and then bypasses 50% soak. Rolls arcane plus a blue against 2 purple. Based on roll, successes determine damage as normal AoE. So it's got a base damage of intelligence, which is 4, plus additional successes. And then I spend any rolled advantages on critical injuries to damage or to enemies. Spend threats on injuries to me. Boons and despairs are worth plus or minus 4 advantages, respectively. So basically, like, I just kind of fuck up all the minions and then roll AoE with strong damage on anything that isn't a minion, so like a level 2 enemy, like an adversary. And then any advantages or boons I roll allow me to critically injure those enemies as well, even if I don't kill them. So, like, yours is very defensive, so I would say if you're, like, really taking the lead or trying to tank hits in a combat scenario, and I'm playing, like, a backline support or, like, medium-ranged attack spells, then that's fine. But especially if you get into, like, trouble and you just want me to fucking wipe everything, then rolling this Astral Blast thing would really do some serious damage to, like, an entire horde of enemies.
Here's the other thing that he didn't mention there is this like you said, this ability is busted. The counterbalancing is that if he rolls threat, he has to spend those threat points on the same critical injury table for himself. So he has like this really powerful attack he can do, but he can sort of like blow himself up if he does it. Is sort
Yeah, and the reason it makes so much sense is because this is obviously like me pushing my threshold as a psyker. So like if I push it and it doesn't go well, then I have to sustain like probably medium to severe critical injuries myself.
Yeah, so basically you guys have a pool of story points that's at the start of a game, depending on how many people are playing, you all get a pool that you all share with 1 point in it for each of you. So you guys have 2 points right now. I get 1 point to myself. When you guys use one, it goes to me, and when I use one, it goes back to you, right? So like if you use your heroic ability, that gives me sort of the ability to push back in my own way, right? But then that in turn will go back to you. So it's sort of this like tug in war between me and the rest of you. Is sort of how it works.
Got you. So we share these points. So we have 2
Yes.
that so he could use his ability twice, or I could use mine once and he could use his once, kind of thing.
Yeah. He could use his once, or you could use yours once, and then when I use those points to do my own things, you'll be able to use it again. It's not like a you can only use this one so many. You can only use your
Okay.
power so many times in a game. It's if you have the points, you can do it. But those give the points to me, basically.
I see. Well, we can explain this further as it comes up. So now just strategizing about our approach here. I mean, realistically, if we don't have any other intelligence about where in the encampment he is, we're just gonna have to infiltrate into the encampment and start searching around somehow, figure it out as we go. So I would propose that we could perhaps approach on foot stealthily, and perhaps one option would be for me to use my rope and create some kind of grappling hook to climb over the palisade, rather than trying to walk in through what would probably be guarded portals or gates. So I should be speaking in the first person, but I'd look to Hasafet and ask if he has any other suggestions, or perhaps his sorceress abilities can aid us in some other way.
So for clarity, you'd like to sort of grapple in
Well,
with your rope?
as a samurai, if I was approaching this situation, I would sneak up on foot using stealth. I have a length of rope in my backpack. I could potentially, climb over the fence. Now, I'm not sure if your character necessarily could also do that. I'm just thinking that trying to walk in through the front doors is going to get us caught unless you do some kind of Jedi mind tricks on the gate guards.
So, Dude Missile, I've got mind, move, and utility, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would it still be too strained for me to like roll to just move through the fence?
So here's what you should know about magic, right? Is that
Every
basic
cast is too strained.
first off, every cast is too strained, but a magic roll to do something is always going to be tougher than like say you have to jump over a gap, right? And you could jump over the gap with athletics, or you could do like levitate yourself and just sort of walk over the gap, right? But the thing you should know about that sort of situation is that the magic roll to levitate yourself is going to be harder than the athletics roll to just jump over it. So you can do basically anything with magic. It's just that like it's going to be a more difficult roll than just finding a normal solution.
Sure, but here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna roll athletics, which is 2 brawn,
Uh-huh.
right? So that's 2 greens, versus rolling arcana, which is 3 greens and a yellow.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's I guess my point. But how hard is this fence to just climb over?
I mean, if you can climb, it wouldn't be too bad. It's just that there's a little bit of maneuvering you'd have to do at the top because it's spiked. It's like a spiked log.
Am I going to have a higher rate of success trying to move through the fence or just trying to burn a hole through it?
I would say
About equal.
burning through the hole would be the easier roll.
Okay.
It'd also be it'd be the louder approach, right?
Okay. Not sure how to address this. All right, so can we presume that before Hanzo goes like grappling through a whole bunch of shit stealthily, that he and I sort of during our strategy conversation discuss like what I should do to follow up?
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense. We should work together here. But yeah, I'm not assuming that your character would necessarily be able to scale the palisade climbing the rope. We can enter through the front gate, but then everybody's going to see us, and we might easily just blow our cover a chance right there. The whole point of waiting till nightfall. Certainly, you could probably create some kind of large distraction by, I assume you have pyromancy or something. Perhaps you could create some kind of a fire in one part of the encampment that would distract some of the people, and then perhaps allow us to use the confusion to get closer to our target.
My mind spell also went pretty well on the stable keeper, but how many people are at the front gate, Dude Missile?
You guys want to go? Do you guys want to make a stealth?
Yeah,
Oh wait, so you guys wait, hang on. You guys are in the forest right now, sort of looking at it, right?
Yeah, it's in the
We're
distance.
strategizing.
Why don't we start by making a stealth roll to try and kind of get close
Some-
to the walls without being seen?
Well, whoever has the better stealth check should do that.
That's you, Shogun.
Okay, so I can like stealth for other people too, kind of thing.
Well, you can
Well, you
stealth.
you can
and go.
stealth and then come back
could
and
go.
relay to.
I'll go scout out what's going on. So
Yeah.
this is a
Yeah.
class skill. It gives me 3 green diamonds.
Roll against 2 plus a blue. Roll your stealth against 2 purples. Give yourself a blue because it's nighttime.
Okay, so it's 3 stars or starbursts or.
Okay, yeah, you sort of get close enough to do some recon, and there's just the 2 guards on either side of the gate.
And am I able to see anything else inside? What's inside, or if there's any other entrances or anything else?
Well,
How many?
you can see like a straight shot down it, and there seems to be not a huge building, but like a sort of almost kind of nice looking building down at like right down a straight shot down the gate.
Whereas the rest of the buildings are sort of ramshackle or whatever.
They're all ramshackle, but this one's a little bit less ramshackle.
Okay. So upon conversing with Hanzo about his recon, I'm then going to broach the subject of causing some sort of pyromantic distraction while he and I just break through the fence to walk through it. Is the fence made of like metal or wood?
It's just like a wood on a latch that they can open and close, but
But
opening
the
and
fence
closing-
around the fence around the perimeter is the same thing.
Yes.
Okay,
It's all
so if it's a
wood.
wooden fence, we should be able to get our asses through it. But
Are you saying we're
I'm
just
going
gonna
to
walk through the fence magically instead of climbing over it? Is that the idea?
no, just break them. I mean, it's made of wood. We should just be able to break them.
Well,
real quick,
I'm
right?
imagining it as a palisade, which is when you have a lot of sharpened logs, like tree
Yeah,
logs,
yeah.
a fairly formidable,
Oh,
defensive. When you see those forts with the sharpened stakes all around. So
so how
what
are we
I
even going to
would
climb over a palisade, though?
Well, I believe that as a samurai ninja with a long length of strong rope, I could probably pull that off. What I was going to suggest, since I now have a rough idea of where the main building is, you perhaps from outside could create a fire on like the opposite side of the settlement to draw as many people to that area to either try and put the fire out or even create some other kind of, distraction to keep them occupied and keep everybody going in the direction of what you're doing. Well, I then stealthily climb over and see if I can get in there and
Right.
get
So
those guys.
I cause a diversion. You stealth your way in, leverage the diversion to stealth your way to the main building, and then presuming that my distraction brings the gate guards away, I can just walk in through the front door.
Well, yeah, or you can continue to tie up all the people there potentially by
Yeah.
if
Or I can just
necessary,
continue distracting. Yeah.
to keep them distracted, keep them occupied, keep them going in the wrong direction, maybe even retreat into the distance to even get them to chase you away from the town or something like that. Whatever, keep them busy, and then I probably
Okay.
have at least a decent chance of being able to find and kill this person.
We still have the horses, right?
The horses, I was presuming we just leave tied in the woods.
Yeah, we've tied them, but they're close enough that I could go and access mine if I needed to. So okay, because I'm not concerned about being chased down and killed, I'm going to propose to Hanzo that he positions himself to get over the wall, and once he's done so, I will create a distraction.
Okay, and I suppose that I will make some kind of owl sound or something to indicate when I'm in position.
Yeah, or a hand signal or something.
If you can see me, yeah. So does that mean I have to roll another stealth check to get back to the wall? Since I did
Can you
before?
just take the stealth check from before because we literally
Yeah,
went back in
yeah.
time to have a discussion in the forest?
Yeah. It's fine. It's
Well,
fine.
I thought we did. I thought I snuck out there, did the recon, returned back, told you everything that happened, and now we have to reapproach the.
Yeah, but didn't you stealth check to get over the wall, and then we went back to have the conversation, and then you
I
stealth
never
checked
went
for
over the
recon?
wall. I just reconned around to see who was at the gate, and I was able to look through the gate and get a look at what appeared to be the main building in the settlement. That my guess is where the target is, but I didn't go over the wall or anything like that.
All right. Well, I cede to Dude Missile, so he should decide that.
I'm gonna be nice this time and say you don't have to re-roll your stealth check because there's a chance that you fail, and and then
Right.
your whole plan goes to shit, right? So I'll wait till later to make your guys'
Well,
plan
and
go to shit.
I'm not approaching the gate where the guards are. I'm approaching like a random shadowy part of the wall where presumably nobody is looking out, and I know that now because I've reconned it. So okay, so I approach the wall stealthily and get like right up to it, and the one thing that I have is a length of silk rope in my backpack. So I'm going to attempt to make a noose or a loop, like a lasso type thing, on the end of that silk rope, and then I'm going to attempt to throw it up so that the noose goes over the sharpened spike at the top of one of the palisade spikes.
Okay, so let me look at the character sheet. What's your agility, Shogun?
My character has an agility of 3.
Okay, make a coordination check.
Okay, is that just rolling agility 3 or?
What does it say for you?
Oh, coordination, yeah, 3 green.
Okay,
Okay.
make it against a 2.
All right. It says all dice have canceled out. That's probably not good.
Okay, so you sort of get ready to throw it, you get ready to sort of lasso it, and you just sort of barely miss the mark and it bounces off.
Okay. Can I just attempt it again and try and
Yes.
succeed?
Yes.
All right, let's try that one more time then. 3 against 2. This time.
Okay,
2
yeah.
successes.
Just so we're clear, I'm not just making you letting you roll that again arbitrarily. Like if you had done that a bunch of times, maybe like, oh, there's a guy on the other side and he notices this tapping up at the top, right? So there,
Right. Realistically, he might
Yeah.
try 2 or 3 times before he got it, and that would be.
Yeah.
So okay.
There
So
might be some
on the
consequences.
second try, he gets it. So then, furthermore, should I roll something to climb over the wall?
Yeah, make an athletics check against call it a 3. Not
Okay.
exactly something anyone could do.
Okay. Athletics. So I have 1 green and 2 yellow in athletics. So 1 green, 2 yellow. My agility or strength doesn't come into this. It's just the athletics skill.
Well, the 2 yellows and green are a calculation
Gotcha.
of your athletic. Yeah.
So it looks like 2 successes and 3 advantages. Is that how that goes? Or
Okay, yeah. So you managed to sort of climb up it. I was gonna make you take some strain, but you managed to sort of using sort of your warrior's understanding of a strenuous task, you managed to sort of climb up it very efficiently. And from the top, before you sort of hoist yourself over the other side, you can sort of see
yeah.
the
So
sort of bird's eye view of the encampment.
I will very briefly perch and take a look at what I see. Is there any obvious threats or passages to where I'm trying to go, or any information I can see, like how many people are around, or what the site looks like?
Make So I'm gonna get you to roll your. Let's see.
Perception, possibly, or
Yeah,
vigilance.
roll your perception against a 2.
Okay, so that's going to be 2 green. It's 2 purple. So I'm not sure what those ones mean. Biohazard looking ones.
Okay, one sec.
3 success and 3 threat. Threat's the opposite of advantage.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I succeed, but something bad happens, maybe.
Yeah.
Wait. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
How far into this are you? Is it far enough that you should signal to me to make a diversion?
Oh yeah, before I had started climbing over, I was supposed to do that.
Okay.
Or yeah, but yeah.
Okay,
ideally.
so what did you just roll for? I'm sorry.
Well, no,
Um,
I made a grappling hook type thing, and I climbed up.
No, I caught that, but
Yeah,
like, what was the
it
perception
was
check?
a perception check just to see if I can deduce any useful information from this bird's eye view.
Yep. So, dude,
Yeah. So I'm gonna hold off on that threat for a moment that you rolled. We'll get back to that in a moment.
Okay.
What are you doing in this time? Shogun. So what you can sort of glimpse is that this encampment probably supports about 20 people. Like it's sort of that size. That's the amount of people you could reasonably
Mhm.
support with this much land. and these
And
many
are
sort of
these are there a lot of people like in the streets or out in public, or are people seemingly indoors mostly right now? Or like,
there's sort of a couple guards, and one of them has noticed you, but it's too dark to really see what you are. They just sort of can see that something's on the wall, and you are aware of this.
okay,
But yeah, it's just like maybe it seems like there's just the two guards at the front that you saw, and then there's these other two guards who are sort of like patrolling the actual inside of the encampment itself.
so I've been spotted, so I'm gonna
Uh,
jump down as quickly as possible from the fence, so I'm not as easily seen, and try and crouch or hide behind something. But go ahead, Hasafat. You're gonna say something.
all right. So using the data from Hanzo's recon, I'm going to pick the building that could be designated as like a drinking establishment. And then I'm going to roll Divine to invoke Zinch and transform the entire roof and walls of the establishment into like pink and blue demons.
Okay, that's gonna be a 4 at least. 4 difficulty.
Transmogging the roof into like little demonoids is a
So
4.
well, it's a whole building. You know what I mean? I mean,
Well,
if
it
you want
doesn't
to
have
debate
to be
that,
the entire building. I mean, like,
okay.
so I'm not trying to literally like take the entire building and just replace it with demons, but like I'd like to take some of the material of the building and turn it into like little demonoids that are going to run
Yeah.
around and create a
Is
diversion.
this
Okay.
I'm just
We-
curious, is this because you have transmogrification magic, but not some kind of like summoning magic? Like, couldn't you just like summon a few demons and have them like run around and create chaos? Or is it like you have to try and turn something into demons?
I don't know. What's the conjuration mechanic here? Like, if I have Arcana and Divine according to like my sorcerer channeler build, like, do I have conjure?
Arcana. Yes, Arcana has conjure.
Okay, so
essentially summon a few
if
demons. Sorry.
yeah, if I want to conjure like between 3 and 5 like dog-sized demonoids to like run
Mhm.
around and just like kind of bite things and make noise and just kind of scurry and not really, they're just going to be there for like a short period of time. They're not like combatants to the enemies or anything. They're just going to like cause like a big diversion, attract a bunch of attention.
We can call it a 2.
Okay, so I'm going to conjure like 3 to 5 little blue and pink Zinchian demonoids outside whatever the pub or tavern building is. So I'm going to roll Divine against a 2.
Yeah.
And I get the 1 blue because this is one of my 3 magic checks.
Yes. If you wanna, yeah.
3 success, 1 advantage.
Yeah. Any idea what? Okay, so you managed to conjure. How many dogs did you say?
Yeah, well, they're dog sized, but
Okay.
they're like little like picture like Kirby, but like completely evil and like maliciously giggling and with like big jagged teeth.
Okay, right. You.
And so I've conjured like if I got a triple success, then I conjured 5 of them, and
Okay.
they're like fast. They're like harmless but annoying. Like I want you to imagine like hornets. Like they're just kind of stinging everything and running around and making noise and torturing. Like to such a degree that like all the warriors are like up in arms about it. That would be the ideal.
Okay, so these things start running around the sort of little sort of drinking area. It's sort of an outdoor space, and you see a number of sort of passed out people, and they sort of immediately a few of them wake up. They're like, "Oh fuck!" Right, and they start like running around, and it sort of becomes like a sort of a Three Stooges esque sketch where like they're falling over, the things are like nibbling at them. It's this whole sort of slapstick scene, and yeah. So
From my character's perspective, does this possibly have these guards been distracted and responded to this chaos, or are they still
yeah,
noticing me?
you Shogun, you hear like this commotion in a part of the encampment that you can't see because now you're sort of on ground level, and you hear the footsteps of the guards who were close to you sort of start walking and getting quieter as they move. So they're sort of moving in the direction of this commotion.
Okay, I'll take advantage of this opportunity to try and stealth or simply move as quickly as possible towards what appeared to be the sort of main building that I saw, possibly taking a back lane or staying behind other buildings as I do so.
Okay, you're gonna need to make a stealth check now.
Okay. So my stealth skill is 3 green.
You want to give yourself, if you want to use the blue I said you could use, you can do that too.
Sure. And that's against 2 purple or 3 purple or what?
2 purple.
Okay. So I have here, it looks like 4 threats or 4
Those
advantages.
are advantage.
Okay, 4 advantages, 2 successes.
Also, just so you know, Egg Base has already gotten pretty decent at this. If you get threat, I'm going to adjudicate what happens to you, and you can maybe debate on that. But like, I'm the one who's going to come up with what it is. If you get advantage and you have an idea for maybe what you think 4 advantage could be worth, go ahead. But we're going to say that yeah. So in this sort of as you are approaching this building, the sort of commotion, people from all over the camp are starting to wake up and like come outside to see what's going on, and it's just this sort of progressively ridiculous situation where like everyone's sort of running around and trying to avoid these little Kirby demons. And so in that commotion, you manage to sort of sneak off in to this building. You are now outside of it.
And can you describe the building at all in terms of, are there windows, doors, like what kind of building it is?
So it seems to sort of be made, unlike the other sort of buildings in this encampment. This one actually seems to be like a from scratch construction, as opposed to the other ones that seem to sort of be made from whatever scrap they collected. Right, this one actually seems like it has this level of structural integrity to it. There's no like glass windows, but there are like a sort of openable sort of wooden latch that is open. And
Like
there's
there are ground floor windows. They're just not
yeah.
contained with glass. Okay.
Yeah.
So can I simply now here's a quick question. Do I have a visual description of this roughneck mercenary? Do I know what he looks like? Does he have any identifying features that I know of?
You saw the bounty poster, so he has sort of like a thick beard and he's bald. He's got a black beard.
Okay. So I do have a general idea of what he looks like.
He's pretty burly looking too. Like this is a very strong man.
Okay. So I'd like to jump quietly and deftly through the open window and abscond into the house through the window.
So as you sort of jump through the window, you see like you see you see Dryneck, and he has just put on his boots, and he sees you, and yeah, you're at the top of the initiative. It's only the 2 of you, so I didn't even need to roll for him. You're at the top
So
of the initiative.
I
Go ahead.
jumped in the window and I see him right there, and he's putting on his boots, like getting ready to go outside.
Yeah. He's got his boots on. He's just about to go outside,
I
and
will
he sees you.
quick draw my katana and attempt to make a sprinting forward lunge and execute a slash at his throat, I suppose.
Okay.
So I would do sort of a three quick steps followed by a downward slash at his jugular.
Okay, so we'll call that a melee light with a blue. If you have it, if you want to use your other blue now, I think I said you could use
Yeah.
2 of them. So if you want to
Sure.
use both blues now, but
Well, I used one before, right, for the stealth or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so so I'm using my katana. I have both melee light and melee heavy. So
Melee light.
Okay. All right, so that gives me 2 yellow, 1 green.
2 blues if you want to use them. Well, at least 1 blue because you're doing like sort of a lunge
I'll
attack.
use them both if I have
Okay.
to, and against difficulty of purple. How many purple?
2. So
It's
Two
always
for-
2?
It's always 2 for an attack roll unless otherwise stated.
Okay. So it looks like 3 successes, 2 advantages.
Right. Okay. Let me double check something here. So there are more specific. What's the crit on your weapon? Does you have it written down anywhere?
Yeah, it says here the katana does damage 3, critical 2.
Okay. Yeah. So you do. What's your damage 3?
Damage 3 for the sword. Yeah, I don't know how
Yeah.
that
Okay.
connects to other things like strength
So
or the success rolls, but
um. So it's gonna be your sword plus your successes. So your katana does 3. You got 3 successes. So it's gonna be 6 damage. He has so much soak that I'm not gonna reveal. But now, if you would like to roll for me, uh, if you would like to roll for me a D100.
okay. Rolled a 0. Is that even possible, or did that not work? I don't think you can roll a 0, can you?
You rolled a 56.
Oh, I see. Right.
Okay.
Okay.
You you managed to sort of get him like right in the sort of chest. Not quite in the heart, not quite in the lungs, but he's now has this sort of agonizing wound. Uh and
Okay.
so now it's his turn. He takes out his sort of battle axe. One sec. One sec. Where is it? Okay. No. Do. Okay, he takes out his battle axe and he swings it at you. Oh, hang on. What was it? Oh, shit. Okay. Sorry, I have to just try to figure out this math here. Okay, so remove one of those. Okay, yeah, he whiffs it. He in his sort of immense pain, he sort of swings a little bit too far away from you. Back to you.
So he misses me.
Yep.
All right. I suppose I shall sort of adjust the grip on my sword and try to do like an impaling forward thrust right through the open wound on his chest. So just roll another melee attack.
Yeah, no blues though.
Okay. So melee light is 2 yellow, 1 green. We got 2 of that. None of those. Hanzo rolled 4 successes and 2 disadvantages, I think.
Two threats. If you want to think of them as disadvantages, it's the same thing, but they are called threats.
Right.
Right. So your sword does 3 damage, so that's 7 damage. So that's okay. He's still got some fight in him, but he's looking a little bit. He's looking pretty decently hurt by now. Okay. He's gonna make another attack against you, and he does yeah. So he does 2 plus. So he does 6 damage.
Okay. I'm trying to see where my health is on my sheet here.
Wound threshold.
Okay, I see. So my current wounds are at 10. My threshold is 13. I'm not sure. I guess I got hurt at some point. So I'm deducing 6 from 10.
You should have healed after the last game. I don't think you've taken damage up to this point, so it should be full. And you're saving your soak from it,
Okay.
and then taking the result as
Removing
damage.
my is it 6 minus 3 or 6 is the total after soak?
6. Remove your soak. That is
So
how much
3.
damage you're taking.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now I am down to 10 health.
Okay.
And my armor doesn't do anything, does it? That's what gives me my soak, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Your turn.
My turn?
Yep.
Okay, well, at this point, I'm going to try and decapitate the guy, but I guess it's same roll. So that's
Okay. When it comes to like stuff like I'm gonna kill him this way, like he's got health and you got to get the health down.
yeah, I understand.
When you kill him, I'll say to you, how do you kill him? and that's how he'll
Right.
adjudicate
I'm
that.
just sort of role
Yeah,
playing that rather
I
than I
see.
slash him, I slash him, I slash him. I'm trying to like
I see.
describe
Okay.
like what kind of attacks I'm using, so it's a little more visually interesting. But I
Okay, so
realize
you're going for the
there's
neck.
attacks. Yeah, last time, yeah, whatever. It's just
Okay,
role playing the thing. But
go ahead.
oops, I got to do that again because I didn't put any purples. Uh, I think so. This time, one success, one threat.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so right, you so it's 3 plus 1's 4. Okay. You attack him, but it just sort of clinks off his armor.
This guy is wearing some kind of heavy armor, I would assume.
Not it's more like a chainmail, but it just
Gotcha.
wasn't a very good strike.
Okay.
And at this point, um, one of these little Kirby creatures comes in, and it starts like running around you and trying to like bother you and it also runs around him and tries to bother him, and he's sort of like distracted from it. So like he he tries to run, so he's gonna disengage. So I don't remember exactly what the
To
rules
be
for
clear,
disengage.
these are like Zinchian like pink horrors that you've summoned. Is that basically what these things are?
Wait, what's the question? Yes,
Yeah,
you're correct, but
yeah. Well, yeah, because one of them just ran into the scene here, so I'm just trying to visualize. He called it a Kirby creature. I'm just trying to. It's like a
yeah,
pink horror,
so like
right?
you're aware of the pink and blue horrors. Like it's a pink horror, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
I summoned like three to, in this case, five pink and blue horrors. So
I see.
either one.
So he's gonna make a coordination check. So I don't know exactly what the rules for disengaging are right now, but we'll just fudge it for now. Okay. He sort of like twists his ankle a bit as he's making this maneuver, but he manages to sort of disengage from you and he starts running out of the building. Your turn.
Well, can I make some kind of contested roll to try and like trip him as he's trying to run away, or alternatively, can I make like an athletics roll to just like sprint and chase him down and tackle him?
Yeah, I would say the athletics roll would be good.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll my athletics, which is 2 yellow, 1 green, and against 2, so 4 success, 2 threats.
Okay, yeah,
So,
you sort of managed to. Are you trying to like grab him?
well, I'm trying to catch up to him and kill him essentially as quickly as possible.
Okay,
Um,
you are keeping in pace with him. You guys are now sort of running
right.
sort of out of the
But
door down into the sort of
so if I've caught up with him, can I make a brawl roll to try and like kick his legs out under him so he falls down and he can't run anymore, or
uh
like trip
yeah,
him?
we can do that. Go ahead.
Okay. I'd like to make a brawl roll, so that's gonna give me 2
One sec, Sugar.
green, 1 yellow. What's up?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, 2 green, 1 yellow, 2 purple. Roll. All dice have canceled out.
Okay, yeah, you sort of try to trip him, but he does trip up, but he manages to like catch himself and keep running.
Bastard. So does that mean it's like his turn now, or what happens?
Well, Hassifant, what do you want to sort of maybe get in here now?
Or you could do something wherever you are.
I'm sorry, I'm still outside,
Yeah,
and
so
the
he's
last
kind
Okay.
time
of
I did something, I summoned like five Zinchian horrors, and it's just all been Hanzo since then. So,
yeah. No, I
he's
think
been in combat with bandits.
The bandit leader, and he's been in combat with Dryneck.
the plan is working out perfectly, except that this guy is proving surprisingly hard to kill. So,
Okay, so what's the status of people being in the way? Like, can I just stroll in there?
well, look,
Everyone's
ra-
sort of distracted with the
can,
horrors. Yeah.
I mean, if we're in combat and this guy's already wounded, like, I don't know how long the combat's going to go on, but if I can just kill him, then we can get out of here without Hasafet having to come in. I could, so.
He's got 2/3 of his health left.
Hmm.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is notice that everyone is still in like a chaotic panic, and I'm just gonna walk through the front gate into the camp and head in the direction of the main building that Hanzo's in.
Okay, yeah. So you see, as you approach this, you see a man running directly towards you, and he, as he sort of approaches you, he sort of starts to raise his axe as though he's gonna sort of cut you down as he runs by.
Um, okay, so is he engaging in combat with me, or is he just making a single skirmish that I can just walk away from?
He is running away from Shogun, and you are in his way.
He's running towards you with an axe raised. So, I mean, that's the situation. Looking like he's going to attack you.
All
If
right.
I understand it correctly.
So I'm just gonna keep walking towards the main building and just kind of like sidestep the guy.
You might have to
Okay.
like, dodge or something, right? If
No,
gonna-
no. If he
Well,
gets out of the
if
way,
he's just
just
running away and I'm in his way, then I'm just gonna like get out of his way and keep walking towards the main building.
But you
Okay.
presumably realize that this person is the bounty that we're here to catch, right? The guy who's running
is it?
towards
Is
you.
it?
yes, yes.
That is the guy I've been.
Hold
I'm
on.
trying-
I thought
that's
you were
the-
in combat with him.
I am, and so he's running away from me because I've been trying to kill him, and he's already been wounded by me, and so he's fleeing from me, and you just happen to be in his way. So,
Oh, hold on. Okay, that's different.
Yeah.
So he's like afraid and he's willing to cut me down because I'm in his way.
yes, and
Yeah.
if there was some way you could prevent his flight, it would make my job of trying to cut his head off somewhat easier.
All right, so I'm going to raise both my hands and aim like just short range jets of fire at his hands with the aim of making him like unable to grip his axe and debilitating him in future combat.
Okay. Yeah. So making it. Wait. So you're aiming for his axe to like burn his hands. You're trying to make his axe super hot.
Aiming for his hands to try and
Okay.
disable his use of the axe and
Okay.
also of his hands.
Okay. Make a magic roll.
Alrighty. Success and 3 advantages.
Okay. Yeah. We'll see.
Oh,
his
wait. Hold on. No. Let me do that again because I still have a blue.
We'll
This is
just
my
roll a
second
blue, and
check.
we'll just roll a blue, and we'll add it on to that result.
Well, the blue turned out being nothing. So should I roll a blue and tack it onto the first roll, or should we go with the second roll?
We'll go with the first. We'll just go with the first one. In future, if you forget to roll a dice, just roll those on their own, and we'll yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
So that's a total of 2 successes and 4 advantages.
Is it okay if we go with the first blue, the blue that was blank, along with the success roll? Because if had you just rolled that blue on its own, that would have been the blue you rolled. Okay, no, it's fine. 2 successes, 4 advantage. Yeah, you do. So what's your associated skill with that magic? Your characteristic?
Arcana's intelligence. My intelligence is, or intellect. My intellect is 4.
Okay, so you did 6 damage. Okay, you burn his hands, and he immediately like drops his axe.
Okay. And is the advantage also like, so I succeeded in making him drop his axe. Is the advantage also that he now can't use his hands, or at least one of them?
Yeah, his hands are yeah. So no, see the success was that you used magic. The advantage was that you managed to burn his hands. You see what I'm saying?
Ah, I see.
It works. Combat.
Yeah, success was attack, like the attack
Yeah.
succeeded, and then the
Yeah.
advantage. Okay, yep, I got it.
Just in general,
No,
what they,
it's well understood.
okay. Go ahead, Shogun. You're up to you. Up to the top of
The
the order.
action is to me. So as
Yeah.
he's been burned by the magical fire, I will attempt to attack him from behind. and finish him off, or at least continue to chip away at his health.
Now,
So,
are you sure you want to do that?
is there some kind of dead or alive contract? Do we have to bring this guy back alive?
No, it's just like you kill him and bring his head contract. But I'm just saying, it seems like your character maybe wouldn't want to do that.
My character wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I came here on a quest to kill
Well,
this bounty hunter. That's what we've been
it's
doing the whole time.
yeah, but you're attacking him from behind, and your whole thing is like Bushido, right?
Yeah, I'm not aware of any Bushido rule that prohibits me from striking an enemy from behind in combat. That would be the logical thing to do in this
Okay,
situation.
go ahead.
Yeah, my character's moral code does not prohibit him from striking an enemy from behind. So in any case, yeah, sorry, 2 yellow, 1 green. Wait, did I do that wrong? That should have been 2 yellow, 1 green, 2 purple.
Just roll one purple on its own. Okay, so you got 2 successes, 2 threat.
Okay, and that transfers to 5 more damage.
It's gonna be your weapon damage plus your successes, so you got 2 successes and
And the katana does 3.
yeah.
Okay.
It's 5 damage in total.
Yeah. So he's
Okay.
got his hands burned by the magic. I've hit him 3 or 4 times, but he's still standing. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
he's gonna turn around to you. Or he's gonna turn around to you and he's gonna punch you in the face.
His burned hands. This guy's a hardcore. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Okay. So don't worry about it because he didn't hit your soak is higher than. Oh wait, hang on. Yeah, he did 5. Sorry, he did 5 damage.
He did 5 damage,
Yeah.
and I soak 3 of it. Is that the case?
Whatever your soak is.
Yeah. Okay. So I am now at 8 health. All right.
Okay, Astafet.
What is Drynek's health here? Do we know?
Well,
You could
I'm
give us
just
a visual description of his condition.
he's beaten up pretty bad, but he's got some fight in him. If you want a numerical description, I will say he is at about half health.
Jesus. So he's been slashed up with a samurai sword, and his hands have like vast 3rd-degree burns, and he's at half health.
His soak is very good. It's not that he has a lot of health; he just has a lot of soak.
I was hoping this would be a little more humane, but it's turning into a protracted and brutal slaughter of this person. I was thinking it would be, but that's okay. So be it.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is roll Arcana again using my 3rd blue die to try and cast a mind spell on him that prevents him from having like any sort of coordination, like physical coordination at all.
Okay, so this isn't so.
Like I'm basically trying to make him have a stroke, like again the same way I did on that wolf.
Okay, so this isn't like an attack roll. Okay, go ahead, roll it.
Yeah, it's like specifically a disabling
Yeah.
thing here.
Okay, make it a roll against. I'll call it a 3 because this guy's particularly tough.
Yeah, his brain isn't any tougher than a normal person.
Remember to be subtracting your strain for every spell you do that you have to roll for. Oh
yeah, so I
my.
don't know why you had me roll against 3, but that's 4 failures.
That was a really unlucky roll. Well, because the Bargus were weaker, right? Like you're trying.
Yeah,
You're
but
trying...
it doesn't matter. They're brains, right? I just rolled a mind spell. It's not like his brain has fucking armor.
I mean, if you really want to contest this, remove any of those 3.
I mean, listen, you know, like, I think it was like a really bad roll, but like
Yeah.
the fact that I just rolled like 5 positive die against 3 purples, I don't know, like that's fine. We're gonna have bad rolls occasionally, so you hash it out.
Okay, we'll go with that. What do you want your 2 advantage to be?
I'd like him to at least like falter a little.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because like even if like the intent and like the effect kind of fail, I'd like him to at least like be minorly like to have a little like stumble or something.
Okay. Yeah. So he's sort of off balance and will be easy to knock over. Shogun, up to you.
I'm sorry. So the magic spell there failed, and what happened?
Completely failed.
So it just didn't have any effect.
He's
Well, the
he's like
effect was that he was like caught off balance and like sort of
Okay.
stumbled and would now be like super easy. Like he's off balance now. He was like kind of, I don't know, like stunned, but not like really stunned, you know?
All right, I've got you. Um, so I'm just trying to understand the soak mechanic. The soak mechanic is automatic, right? So there's no way
yes.
I can attempt to target like a undefended part of his body and like hit part of him that isn't covered in armor or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'm basically just going to continue to roll my attacks until hopefully this guy dies, and hopefully nobody notices this, slashing this guy to death in the street. Um, so sorry, I don't know. I have to keep checking. 2. No, that's black. 2 more successes and 1 more threat. So
Okay.
that would be 5
5.
more damage. Yep.
Okay. Right.
So he's
Okay.
probably got a soak of 5 or something. So he's not even getting hurt. We're just like,
He's got a Soka 4. You did do a damage there.
I'll get him sooner or later. I'm trying to think if it'd be easier to just try and like wrap my rope around his neck and strangle him or something at this point. But
Do you want to make like a
He'd
grapple?
still apply soak though. That's the wildest part, right?
I
could I,
think
can I roll brawl to put him like in a rear naked choke and choke him to death? Like
I
I'm
think
just
what we do there is we do like a contested brawn check, and if you beat him, then you got him grappled, like you've got him held down.
yeah,
Should I
but
do that?
I can't attempt to like because like right at this point I don't know which way he's facing, but
He's
can I
facing
attempt?
you.
He's facing me. Okay. Oh, I mean, you'd think it would be easier to kill him with a sword, but like, is it possible to do a choke in this game? You choke someone?
Yeah, we can do that.
Well, you know what? I'm holding my katana, so I'm not gonna sheath it and whatever. I'm just gonna attack him again. So, hopefully, I get some good rolls here. Doesn't look like it.
Okay,
An
you
egg.
missed.
I missed.
Now it's his
Fuck.
turn. He's gonna.
Is it his turn or my turn?
Okay, he does. Let's see. He does 6 damage to you, Shogun, as he punches you in the face. And now
Okay,
it's
so um, okay, so 6 minus 3 would be 3, but I'm wondering, should I use my like ability here to absorb damage for a few turns? Because at this rate, he's gonna punch me to death before I can kill him with my sword.
do you want to?
Well, otherwise, I am now down to 5 life.
Ooh, might be a good time to
Yeah,
use
so
it.
I'm gonna.
So
I'm gonna
wait, hold on. So Hanzo
Mhm.
rolled twice. Now
Yeah.
Dryneck has rolled. What the fuck am I doing? Am I just standing here like an idiot?
It's your turn now.
but,
Okay.
Shogun took
but
an extra turn and you know.
oh, I did.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, sorry.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna stick with attack, and I'm just gonna cast a lightning spell on him.
Okay, attack roll.
So this, by the way, will take me from 8 to 6 strain.
Ooh, not good. Not good. Okay,
Yeah. So we've just had like 3, 4 bad attack rolls in a row.
okay, yeah, you whiff it. If you can come up with anything for your advantage, go ahead. Um,
I'm just a little surprised this guy's able to do more damage punching me in my samurai armored face with his warp magic burned fists than I'm able to do with him with my katana. But
I will.
I
I
mean,
would.
so
that's life sometimes.
the dude's got third-degree burns on his hands, and you agreed that the advantage would be that he wasn't really able to use his hands.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not complaining. I just think it's funny that I'm hitting him with a katana and he's like eating it and he's punching me with his like mangled, burned hands in my armored face and it's like killing me. But I guess
So
he's extremely strong.
I would just like to yes, his hands are burned. He can't like hold anything in it, but if he just works with it, he can still use them as a bludgeoning device, right? You see what I mean?
Right.
He is low. Like you don't have far to go. I will say he is a boss. Right?
Yeah, no, it's
So,
fine. I'm not complaining. I'm just
okay.
observing that he's
Um,
extremely strong and
we're
tough. And
we're gonna give you another move, Hasafet, right now. Because Shogun got 2.
Okay, well, now being at 6 strain, I guess I'm just gonna commit to the bit and just cast the same fucking spell again. So I'm trying to do like big lightning things right now and
Yeah.
just seriously electrocute the motherfucker, okay?
Okay. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay.
Well, there's a success and 2 advantages at least.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a D100. So I haven't seen anything about magical critical injuries, but do you want to just call your crit to be 2? Is that okay with you? 2 advantage, you can do a crit because that's what Shogun says, I believe.
Okay.
Okay, 50. Uh, okay, you zap him in the head, and he's a he's sort of a he like he's like had like a mini seizure from like the electricity, and now he's like completely dazed. His turn. He's just sort of tries to shake himself off. Uh, Top of the order, Shogun.
well, um, yeah, I'm realizing my options are rather limited, so I'm just gonna keep chopping at this guy like a tree until he falls down.
Okay, I'm gonna
Uh,
go ahead, make a check. Go ahead, make a check.
I mean, I
How
was
much
gonna think.
damage did I do? You didn't tell me.
He soaked it. Oh wait, sorry, you did like 1 damage, yeah.
Anyways, this time I got 3 successes and 3 threats.
Right, so that's 6. Okay, how do you kill him?
He's dead now.
Yeah, how did you kill him?
I suppose that since I've been trying to decapitate him and take his head, that ideally I've managed to do that. Decapitated him.
Okay. The other bandits are still sort of being they've sort of had somewhat of a success wrangling these pink demons, but they're still distracted by them.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly put the head in my backpack and kind of gesture with my hand that we should escape as quickly as possible.
Okay.
And I'm gonna look for a path out of here that has no guards or as few people as possible. Or perhaps just run back out the gate if that's the only way out.
Shogun, I wonder if that whole fight might have been easier if you'd spent your 2 story points on upping your soak.
Well, it would have saved me from taking some damage, but because I didn't die, that wouldn't necessarily have made any difference.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I would say if anything it probably would have been your ability, egg base, that would have been a heavy hitter, right? But I guess
You
there
could
was
have
the
burned
risk.
him, but you would have destroyed its head, and then we wouldn't have had the proof.
Or
Right.
like, AoE like against a single enemy. It's like, well,
Yeah, I'm standing
Yeah.
there fighting him, so I probably would have got hit by the warp fire too.
For the record, I did his stats up really quick. I didn't expect him to be that tough to kill, but I guess he was a little bit over leveled for you guys. But you still managed to take
yeah,
him.
so he was extremely tough to kill, and the fact that we got like 4 or 5 bad rolls in a row really didn't help.
No, we got the job
And
done.
then,
That's all that
yeah,
matters.
meanwhile, he's rolling well, even with like burnt hands and like multiple massive lacerations. But we got the job done. So,
Yeah, I mean, I
I
respect.
will say he was rolling at this like his rolls were lower than his stats actually allocated for because he had the burnt hands because Shogun like punctured his chest, right? He was rolling really low. It's just his stats were hella high.
mhm.
Okay.
I
So you guys
respect
go back to
anybody
your
who can throw punches with burned hands. That takes a certain kind of person.
horses?
Well, if it's possible to just physically exit this place on foot and get back to our horses as quickly as possible, that's what I would do.
Okay, yeah, these bandits are still sort of occupied with the pink demon things, and they have had no time to in the darkness of night notice this whole like really metal battle that just went on. And so you guys managed to slip out of the encampment with no
Okay.
difficulty.
And none of these pink demons are around us now, are they?
No.
Okay. So we've made it back to our horses here.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. This is just kind of like a meta question, but I'm just wondering, is there any kind of like corruption mechanic here? Like, because what Eggbase is doing here is like, Zinchian warp demon summoning sorcery. So is there any like,
Uh,
effect to that in terms of like, anything, or
I
is it just
think
like,
I think the way we had discussed it, egg based, was that like if you do things to like help people, that like pisses Zeech off. But if you like, am I correct about that?
Yeah, I mean, the idea is that like if I'm just like causing utter mayhem and just doing like kind of weird and wacky like sorcery stuff and hurting people with it and like using my magical prowess and trying to gain more and more power, then that's all fine. The
Right.
problem would be if I like started trying to enforce order and like, actually assist people and, heal them or something. So
Right. So I think he's all good for this encounter,
right?
basically. So
like
Well,
do
I'm
you
not.
need
I'm already warped the fuck out, you know what I mean? Like I'm committed to this like ruinous
Yeah,
power.
no, I'm not. This is just like a side thing, but the way that it works, I mean, first of all, Zinch's motives could be, very complex. It could be almost anything, but generally, yeah, as long as you're going around creating change and doing magic and creating chaos or whatever, that's probably possibly gaining you the favor of Zinch. But it also, all warp magic, all chaos always has like a corrupting, warping, mutating, tainting effect, and so usually when people use those powers, a lot of time they'll start like sprouting eyes on their like arms or like their grow long like feathers out of their head and stuff like that over time. Doesn't
Oh, I'm
necessarily
sure
happen.
I'm just progressively mutating. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the idea.
Yeah. So
uh
does your character have any visible mutations at this point? Like if I look at you now, I don't know if I have roll perception or anything.
Um,
Like
I mean,
like
other than like, being a sickly pale, faintly blue glowing motherfucker in blue and gold robes with like glowing teal eyes.
right.
Yeah, so I would think that because I've been doing a lot of casting out of my hands, that my hands are beginning to go from like extremely thin and long fingered to like beginning to sort of develop more into like somewhere between claws and talons. And they're just slowly making that transformation um, into like, sort of almost like bird like, you know what I mean?
Gotcha. Thank you. Just curious. So we
And
have
it's mostly just the one on the right that's like starting to turn kind of into like a purplish claw-like appendage.
okay, yeah, so you guys head back to town now?
uh yes. I suppose we have to return to claim our bounty.
Right. And at what sort of pace are you heading back to town? You rushing
Um
there?
I wouldn't say we'd be galloping in the dark because we don't want to, have the horse throw an ankle or whatever, but a healthy trot.
Okay. As you guys are sort of traveling, you see off in the distance a party of 4 on horseback, seemingly heading in the same direction as you.
Sorry, we see a party of 4 on horseback coming towards us or behind us.
They're like behind you, but they seem to be heading in the same direction as you
Following.
and from the same direction.
Right, presumably following us. Well, I would suggest possibly we could make a riding check to try and just like race them and evade them.
Yeah, you could, but why would you?
Well, because the most logical reason that they'd be following us is because they'd be following the footprints of the horses after the demons were unleashed and their boss was brutally murdered and their encampment was attacked. So I'm assuming the people following us are probably pursuing us.
Okay, make a riding check.
And after realizing how hard it can be to kill someone, I don't necessarily want to try and kill 4 people right now.
Make a riding check against a 2 with a 1 black.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible they're not hostile, but they said they're coming from where we came from, so. Riding. 2 greens, 1 yellow. And 1 black. And black means what? Like it's a disadvantage sort of thing? Because it's like
Yeah,
nighttime or
so
whatever.
you manage to outrun them, but as you sort of ride away, oh wait, sorry, was that the most recent one? Oh, okay, I see.
Because I
Well,
got one.
you just rolled twice, so I'm not sure which 2.
Well, no,
Uh,
so the riding roll is that top one. You said to roll riding with 1 black one, right?
Yeah, I sorry, I said 2 purple, but I think
Oh,
maybe it was my mistake, but it's
I didn't put in any purple.
yeah, okay.
Should I
Well,
just roll
we'll
2
just say
purple?
you managed to get away,
You want me to
and
roll 2 purples?
no, it's fine.
Okay.
This is not an important thing. What's happening here? You just don't know.
Okay.
And you guys managed to make it back to the town.
Okay, great. So we made it back to
Huzzah!
town. I'm going to suggest perhaps that I can give the head to Hasafet since he has the relationship with the Adventurers Guild, and he could go in and perhaps collect the bounty.
So I'm going to accept the head, but also encourage Hanzo to come with me so that at least some recognition from the Adventurers Guild, as well as perhaps acceptance if he wants it, or an additional little bit of reward or some such, other than his share of the actual posted reward.
Okay, so I will accompany Hasafet into the Adventurers Guild to present our bounty that we have claimed.
Okay, as you guys enter, the halls of the AGH are sort of loud with merriment after sort of during the sort of dinner and drinking period of a bunch of hardy mercenaries who have now finished a day's work, and presumably you are heading to the sort of clerk desk to turn in this bounty, right?
So what I'm going to do is put the bounty posting on the clerk desk and then raise the head of Dryneck and stamp it with his severed neck. And then I'm just going to very calmly walk over to where everyone is eating and just hold up the head and just kind of show everybody that I've collected the bounty that they believed that this, like, rowdy, like overconfident gang was going to collect.
And everyone sort of is silent for a moment, and then they all go, "Hey!" And everyone starts clapping and cheering. Right, nice one. Everyone's giving you sort of
Right.
thumbs up and such. The sort of elven woman at the clerk's desk is like looking at this like stamped bounty poster, and she yells to you across the room. She's like, you really didn't have to be that grotesque. As though like she didn't appreciate the gesture, but she's also seen severed heads before. Like, it's just sort of her line of work.
Hmm.
And she sort of beckons you over to sort of collect your pay.
So I go back to the clerk's desk here, and I presume I've still got Hanzo behind me, and I sort of gesture to him and say, "This is my associate and companion in combat, Hanzo, who was instrumental in the completion of this bounty. I will vouch instantly for his skills in combat and his determination to endure through nearly life-threatening or certainly fatal wounds."
And she says, "And would Hanzo like to join us, or is he just here for the one job?"
I'm willing to make my services available to the Adventurers Guild on occasion. I can't guarantee my continued availability, but when I'm around, for as long as I'm in town.
And she says, "So are you boys splitting the pay?"
What I'm going to say is that my associate here was nearly killed by Dryneck, and that I would like the Adventurers Guild either to pay him, like, yeah, we're going to split the pay, but I'd like them to either pay him additionally to cover the cost of medical supplies and good food, try and help him recover, or to provide him with all the healing that he needs as soon as possible.
And she says, "Well, we got some people here who can patch him up, and he's certainly welcome to some meals."
My character sort of holds up a hand and just sort of says that indicates that won't be necessary, although he appreciates the offer.
And she sort of she opens up like a sort of a, if you can imagine, like the sort of fantasy medieval equivalent of like a cash register, just sort of this drawer that has all sorts of like different slots for different denominations of currency, and she sort of counts out 2 piles of 250 silver, and then she gets them. Then she pours those piles into a bag, and she hands you each a bag, and then to you, Hanzo, she hands you like some paperwork, like a sort of little contract, and she sort of slides a pen across the table. She just says, "Sign this, and we can give you guild qualifications."
Okay, I will sign the paper, and I got 250 silver. Is that the case?
Yes, both of you did.
So plus 125. That's 375 now. Okay, great. Thank you. So, go ahead.
Dude, Missile, I'm broke as fuck as well. I now have 375. Wait, Anso, do we both have 375 silver?
That seems to be the case. I had 125 written down from the last session, and if my math is correct, 250 plus 125 would be 375, right?
So we both literally have 375 silver. So
I
we're
think
we're just busted.
I
Yeah.
think you were both broke, and you've split everything since then. So
Mhm.
I think
Yeah,
that's
we've made
what's going
Well,
on.
we made so many.
it's because Hanzo's been instrumental, and we've either one of us accepted a mission and shared it with the other, or vice versa. So yeah, we've been
Right.
splitting everything so far, and I think
Uh,
that's fair.
Okay, so if we want to sort of wrap this up, what are you guys doing for the night? What is your character doing this evening?
I vote we should um, have one of the members of the Adventurers Guild refresh our horses for us overnight, and brush them and feed them, let them rest and everything.
Sorry, one
And
more
then
thing.
we should eat and relax, and get some sleep.
One more thing before you do that. That's yeah. They sort of, you sort of tell them this, and they sort of send a message to the stable master, and then as you guys are sort of preparing to wind down, four four members of the guild enter, and they say, "Hasafet, you rowdy bastard! You did it, didn't you? Was that you? We just came from Dryneck's camp. He was gone. decapitated.
I'm going to turn to them and say, well, you said you didn't need my help, so I went and helped myself.
And he sort of laughs, sort of cheekily, and he says, "Fair game, I suppose." And yeah. So
I sort of chuckle in return and say, well, you'll get the next one.
So you guys you sort of wind down for the night,
Yeah,
and we'll call it there.
give some silver possibly if necessary to the person to take care of the horses or for a room, and then I'll retire.
No, the rooms are free for guild members.
Okay, and then I will thank Hasafet for his assistance in the mission, and then I will excuse myself to my private chambers for meditation, I suppose.
And we will
as will I.
Oh yeah.
No,
Okay.
I'm just going to do the same thing. Yep.
Okay.
And I could easily see us, tipping the stable master off tomorrow when we get our horses. Whenever that actually occurs in real life is to be determined.
So we'll call it there for the night. Give yourself 5 available XP.
All right. Great. Thank you.
Dryneck killed.
And
total 375 silver.
I'll just say to anybody who's listened this far, it was a little bit messy, but thank you for listening. And tune into the Temple Mount podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dude Missile, and thank you, Hasafet. And we'll see you guys at the next session of Realms of Terrinoth. Good night, and God bless.